10 abandoned and terrifying places around the world you won't believe are real. Introduction. Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that every person in your city has vanished. The streets are empty. The shops are abandoned. The houses still contain furniture, photographs, clothing, and personal belongings. But the people who once filled them with life are gone. No voices, no traffic, no signs of everyday activity, only silence. Throughout history, entire towns, villages, islands, and even cities have been abandoned for reasons ranging from natural disasters and deadly diseases to economic collapse, war, and human error. Some of these places were deserted so suddenly that it feels as if time itself stopped. Others have become the center of terrifying legends involving ghosts, mysterious disappearances, and unexplained phenomena. Today, we're exploring 10 of the most abandoned and terrifying places on Earth. These locations are real. Many can still be visited today, but once you learn their stories, you may never look at them the same way again. Make sure you stay until the end because our number 1 location is considered one of the most haunting places ever created by human history. Let's begin. Number 10. Hashima Island, Japan. Rising from the waters off the coast of Japan is an island that looks more like a giant concrete warship than a place where people once lived. This is Hashima Island, also known as Battleship Island. From a distance, its silhouette resembles a heavily armed military vessel emerging from the sea. But behind its intimidating appearance lies an incredible story. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, coal was one of the world's most important energy sources. Deep beneath Hashima Island were valuable coal reserves, and mining companies quickly recognized the opportunity. As the industry expanded, workers and their families moved to the island in large numbers. Apartment buildings rose from the rocky landscape. Schools were built. Restaurants opened. Children played in the streets. Despite its small size, Hashima became one of the most densely populated places on Earth. More than 5,000 people lived there at its peak. Life was difficult. Miners spent long hours underground in dangerous conditions while families lived in tightly packed apartments. Yet the island functioned like a miniature city. Residents had everything they needed without ever leaving. But progress eventually became its downfall. As oil replaced coal as a primary energy source, mining operations became less profitable. The mines were shut down. Jobs disappeared. Families moved away. Then in 1974, the last residents left. Almost overnight, the island became completely abandoned. Today, broken windows stare out across the ocean like empty eyes. Concrete structures slowly crumble under the relentless forces of wind and salt water. Visitors often describe the island as looking like a post-apocalyptic world frozen in time. Walking through its deserted corridors feels like exploring the ruins of a civilization that vanished decades ago. And perhaps that's why Hashima Island continues to fascinate people from around the world. Number 9. Krakow, Italy. High on a hill in southern Italy stands a town that appears untouched by time. At first glance, Krakow looks beautiful. Ancient stone buildings cling to the hillside. Narrow pathways weave through centuries of history. Church towers rise above the landscape. But there's one thing missing: people. For hundreds of years, Krakow was home to generations of families. Life revolved around agriculture, religion, and community. The town survived wars, political changes, and countless challenges. Yet it could not survive the forces of nature. The area beneath Krakow was unstable. Over time, landslides began threatening the town. Massive cracks appeared in buildings. Roads became unsafe. Then earthquakes struck the region, making conditions even worse. Authorities realized that remaining there was simply too dangerous. Residents were gradually relocated. Homes were abandoned. Businesses closed. And eventually, the town became completely empty. Today, Krakow stands as a ghostly monument to the power of nature. Visitors walking through its abandoned streets often describe a strange feeling. Everything appears ready for life to return. Yet nobody comes. The silence creates an atmosphere that is both beautiful and unsettling. Film directors have frequently used Krakow as a backdrop for movies because its appearance feels almost unreal. Standing there today is like stepping into a forgotten world preserved by time itself. Number 8. The Island of the Dolls, Mexico. Few places on Earth are as disturbing as the Island of the Dolls. Hidden among the canals of Xochimilco near Mexico City, this small island attracts visitors from around the world. But not because of its beauty. Instead, people come to see the hundreds of decaying dolls hanging from trees. The sight is unforgettable. Broken faces, missing eyes, detached limbs, weathered plastic heads swinging gently in the wind. The story begins with a man named Don Julian Santana. According to local legend, he discovered the body of a young girl who had drowned near the island. Soon afterward, he reportedly found a doll floating in the water. Believing the girl's spirit remained nearby, he hung the doll in a tree as a sign of respect. Then he found another, and another, and another. Over the years, the collection grew into hundreds of dolls covering nearly every part of the island. Some visitors claim they feel watched. Others report hearing whispers when nobody is nearby. There are even stories of dolls moving their heads or opening their eyes. No scientific evidence supports these claims. Yet the eerie atmosphere makes it easy to understand why such legends continue to spread. Daytime visits are unsettling enough. At night, many people refuse to stay on the island for even a few minutes. Number 7. Pripyat, Ukraine. Few abandoned places in the world are as famous as Pripyat. Located near the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, Pripyat was built in 1970 as a modern city for plant workers and their families. Wide boulevards, apartment buildings, schools, hospitals, and parks made it one of the most desirable places to live in the Soviet Union. Nearly 50,000 people called it home. Residents enjoyed a comfortable lifestyle. Children attended school. Families spent weekends at local attractions. The city continued to grow. Then came April 26, 1986. A catastrophic explosion occurred inside reactor number 4 at the nearby nuclear power station. At first, many residents didn't understand what had happened. Life continued almost normally. Children played outside. People went shopping. Families gathered to watch the unusual glow rising from the damaged reactor. What they couldn't see was the deadly radiation spreading through the city. Within 36 hours, authorities ordered a complete evacuation. Buses arrived by the hundreds. Residents were instructed to take only essential belongings because they would supposedly return within a few days. Those few days turned into decades. Today, Pripyat remains frozen in time. Classrooms still contain books and notebooks. Hospitals hold rusting equipment. Abandoned apartments contain personal belongings left behind by families who never returned. Perhaps the most recognizable symbol is the giant Ferris wheel standing silently in the abandoned amusement park. It was scheduled to open just one day after the disaster. It never did. Visitors often describe Pripyat as one of the eeriest places they have ever seen because it provides a rare glimpse into a city where life simply stopped. Number 6. Beechworth Lunatic Asylum, Australia. Hidden within Australia lies a massive building that has become the source of countless ghost stories. The Beechworth Lunatic Asylum opened in 1867 and quickly became one of the largest psychiatric institutions in the country. Over the course of its operation, thousands of patients passed through its doors. Mental health treatment during the 19th century was vastly different from modern standards. Patients often endured treatments that would be considered cruel and unacceptable today. Many spent years isolated from society. Some never left. As decades passed, stories of tragedy accumulated within the asylum's walls. Deaths, suffering, and loneliness became part of the building's history. When the institution finally closed, the enormous structure was left behind. Long corridors stretched into darkness. Hospital beds sat empty. Treatment rooms remained untouched. Soon rumors began spreading. Visitors claimed they heard footsteps echoing through abandoned hallways. Others reported hearing voices despite being completely alone. Some even claimed to have seen shadowy figures moving through the building. Whether these experiences are supernatural or simply the result of imagination, the atmosphere is undeniably unsettling. Today, Beechworth is considered one of Australia's most haunted locations and attracts paranormal investigators from around the world. Number 5. Kolmanskop, Namibia. Imagine finding an entire town slowly disappearing beneath the desert. That's exactly what happened in Kolmanskop. Located in Namibia's harsh desert landscape, Kolmanskop was once one of the richest towns in Africa. Its wealth came from diamonds. When diamonds were discovered in the region during the early 20th century, prospectors rushed to the area hoping to become rich. The town quickly flourished. Luxurious homes were built. There were schools, hospitals, theaters, and even a ballroom. Residents enjoyed comforts that were rare in many parts of Africa at the time. But prosperity didn't last forever. Eventually, diamond deposits began running out. Even larger discoveries were made elsewhere. People started leaving. Businesses closed. Entire neighborhoods became empty. Nature then began reclaiming the town. Today, massive sand dunes flow through broken windows and open doorways. Some rooms are filled with sand almost to the ceiling. Furniture has disappeared, but the buildings remain. The result is a surreal landscape unlike anything else on Earth. Walking through Kolmanskop feels less like exploring a ghost town and more like exploring the remains of a lost civilization slowly being erased by nature itself. Number 4. Hotel del Salto, Colombia. Perched beside a dramatic waterfall in Colombia stands a beautiful building with a dark reputation. Hotel del Salto was once a luxurious destination for wealthy travelers. Its breathtaking views attracted visitors from across the country. For years, guests enjoyed elegant accommodations overlooking one of Colombia's most spectacular natural landmarks. Then things began to change. Tourism declined. The hotel struggled financially. Eventually, it closed its doors. Once abandoned, strange stories started spreading. Locals whispered about ghostly figures appearing in windows. Others claimed to hear unexplained sounds echoing through empty halls. Legends connected the site to tragic events and mysterious deaths. Whether true or not, these stories transformed the hotel into a place of fear. As the years passed, the abandoned structure became one of Colombia's most famous haunted locations. Today, visitors continue to be drawn by its eerie beauty and mysterious reputation. Standing near the edge of the waterfall while looking at the aging building creates a scene that feels both breathtaking and unsettling. Number 3. Poveglia Island, Italy. Many people consider Poveglia Island the most haunted island in the world. Located between Venice and Lido in Italy, the island has a dark and disturbing history. During outbreaks of the plague centuries ago, infected individuals were transported there to prevent the disease from spreading. Thousands died on the island. Mass burial sites were created. For many victims, Poveglia became their final resting place. Years later, another chapter added to the island's frightening reputation. A psychiatric hospital was established there. Stories soon emerged about strange experiments and unexplained events. According to local legends, patients reported seeing ghostly figures. Some claimed to hear voices during the night. One particularly famous story involves a doctor who allegedly went insane and threw himself from a tower. While historians question many of these tales, they continue to fuel the island's terrifying reputation. Today, public access remains heavily restricted. Its abandoned buildings stand silent as reminders of a tragic past. Whether haunted or not, Poveglia remains one of the most unsettling locations in Europe. Number 2. Bodie, California, USA. During the California Gold Rush, thousands of people dreamed of striking it rich. One of the places where those dreams came alive was Bodie. At its peak, Bodie was a booming town filled with miners, merchants, saloons, and businesses. Gold brought wealth. It also brought crime. Shootouts, robberies, and violence became common. The town developed a reputation as one of the wildest places in the American West. But like many mining towns, its success depended on a limited resource. Eventually, the gold began running out. People left in search of new opportunities. Businesses closed. Buildings were abandoned. Nature and time slowly took over. Unlike many ghost towns, however, Bodhi was preserved. Today, visitors can still see homes, stores, schools, and churches exactly as they were left. Dust-covered furniture remains inside buildings. Old equipment sits untouched. Walking through Bodhi feels like stepping directly into the 19th century. It serves as a fascinating reminder of how quickly fortune and prosperity can disappear. Number 1. Chernobyl, Ukraine. And finally, we arrive at the most famous abandoned place on Earth, Chernobyl. No other location on this list has had such a profound impact on modern history. Before the disaster, the surrounding region was home to thriving communities. Families built their lives there. Children attended school. Workers contributed to one of the Soviet Union's largest nuclear power facilities. Everything changed during the early hours of April 26, 1986. A reactor explosion triggered one of the worst nuclear disasters in human history. The blast released enormous amounts of radioactive material into the environment. Entire towns and cities were evacuated. Thousands of people were forced to leave behind everything they owned. Homes, photographs, clothing, memories. Even decades later, parts of the exclusion zone remain dangerous due to lingering contamination. Yet what truly makes Chernobyl terrifying is not the radiation. It's the evidence of interrupted lives. Inside schools, notebooks remain on desks. Inside homes, family pictures still hang on walls. Children's toys sit untouched exactly where they were left. Nature has reclaimed much of the area. Trees grow through buildings. Animals roam abandoned streets. But traces of human life remain everywhere. Visitors often describe an overwhelming sense of sadness while exploring the zone. It's as if the entire region became trapped in time. A permanent reminder of how one moment can change thousands of lives forever. That combination of tragedy, silence, and abandonment is what makes Chernobyl one of the most haunting places on Earth. Outro. So, which of these abandoned places did you find the most terrifying? Would you dare spend a single night on the island of the dolls? Could you walk alone through the silent streets of Pripyat? Or perhaps the dark history of Poveglia Island disturbed you the most? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our future countdowns. And if you'd like to see part 2 featuring 10 even more mysterious abandoned places hidden around the world, type part 2 in the comments right now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Ghost clap aboard.